I feel the Spirit moving in me. I feel the Spirit moving in me.
Well, the title of my talk today is Spiritual Transformation Through Prayer. And it reminds me of a story. There's a taxi driver and a Unity minister who both die and they go to heaven. And as they're standing at the pearly gates, St. Peter comes out and he hands the taxi driver a golden staff and a silk robe. And then he turns to the Unity minister and he hands him an old wooden staff and a cotton gown. And the Unity minister says, wait a minute, you gave this taxi driver a golden staff and a silk robe, and you give me a wooden staff and a cotton robe? Well, what's up, St. Peter? And St. Peter says, well, you know, Rev, while you were preaching, people slept. And while he was driving, people were praying. So, how is your prayer life? How is it working for you? Is it something that you use? Is it something that's working? Is it something that you gave up on long ago that you couldn't see the value in it? You know, I like to think that everything is a prayer. Because everything we think, say, feel, and do sends out a vibration to the universe, and the universe responds to everything. So everything is a prayer. I do believe that highly focused, directed, positive prayer has an additional impact above just thoughts and feelings. But prayer needs to be something that we think about and experience very consciously. And I really hope that you can think of what we talk about today in terms of your life. To let your life be your prayer. And to realize it in the times when you're in it, you're feeling it, right? And you're right with it, and you're realizing that the thoughts that you're thinking and saying and feeling and believing are powerful. And then even to realize it when it's not so much. When you fall into that pit with the frogs we talked about last week and you can't find your way out and you feel like you're lost, to remember that that too is a prayer. And just to allow yourself to experience that. So have all your prayers been answered? So far. You know, sometimes we can go, wow, yes, you know, when our prayers are answered. And sometimes when they're not, when we don't feel like they're answered, we can get sort of down on prayer. Ever notice? Be honest. You know, that sometimes we go through this thing of, like, oh, you know, I don't want to pray. I don't see the value in it. And so what we want to remember is the value of prayer. I like to think that I used to pray to change God. Oh, God, give me this. Give me this power. Give me the money. Give me the job. Give me the life. Give me the health, right? And now I realize I don't pray to change God. I pray to change me. Because that's where the power lies. And after all, I am a perfect expression of God, yes? And even more so as I tap into the allness of the universe and say, what is it I can know? How is it I can be? What is it I need to be the fullest me I can be? You know, I don't believe in a tricky God who's going to withhold things from me, or a God that is going to decide who wins a football game by the amount of people who pray to him, right? Or I don't believe in a guilt-driven God who is going to give me what I want to make me feel guilty, right? To hold this promise over my head. Oh, my son, I'll give you whatever you want as long as you believe in me and do everything that I say. I don't believe that. In fact, I don't believe that God is a man. I don't believe that God is a woman. Right? I believe that God is the universal energy of love that is everywhere in the universe, that all of us have the ability to tap into and to bring it forth into our life. I believe that spirit, that truth, that life is everywhere. And that prayer for me is my tools that I can use to tap into this universal energy to transform my life. Yes? And what I'm going to share with you today is a prayer that transformed my life in a huge way. You know, I was working for Lipton Tea. I worked for them for 12 years. And the last 5 years of my career there, I had great supervisors. Like the first year, I had like 4 of them, and I loved them all. And then this guy comes along out of God only knows where. In fact, God doesn't even know where, but he showed up, and this guy is confrontive, and he first thing he did, first sales meeting, he asked us, everybody show me on this map where your house is, right? And he used to drive by people's houses to make sure that they were out in the field selling. I know, because there was times I stood at my kitchen sink and saw him drive by. Thank God I had a garage to put my car in, right? But this guy was tough. He expected us to work 50 or 60 hours a week, right? And all of our paperwork and stuff, which is a lot in any sales job I've ever had, was enormous. And he expected us to do that on our free time. So I had such a dislike for this guy. And you know, I prayed and prayed and prayed for that guy to be taken away. You know, I even found myself saying, God, can you hear me? Can't you see who this person is and what it's doing to my life? Right? Here I am, I should be working, and I'm standing in my kitchen looking out the window at him and feeling guilty because I'm not working. And yeah, all this craziness went through me. And then something amazing happened. I found unity. This is in the early 1990s. And I took a class titled Grace Awakening. And it was took the class in Sacramento, California. And I had just the most amazing things happen to me as a result of this class. I've only felt the Holy Spirit a few times in my life, and I felt it in that class. And Reverend, I'll think of her name. Maybe I won't. Yeah, that's right. So Deborah and Debbie Tyson, right, was her name, right? Yeah, and she taught us this prayer called the Grace Prayer, and she warned us, be careful with this prayer, because this prayer works. And so I'm going to share this prayer with you today. I'm going to break it down. It has 8 verses. I'm going to break them all down. And I think it's not only a powerful education about prayer, it's a powerful demonstration of the truth that we live and that we know and that we teach as students of Unity Truth. So here's the prayer. It is, for thee I thirst. Into thy hands I commit my spirit. Thy will is my will. Heal me at depth. Reveal that which needs to be revealed. Heal that which needs to be healed, so that I can glorify you, God, and live in the fullness of grace. Now, these 8 statements, I'm sure you've heard them before. They were statements that Jesus made, and some of them are the last statements that he made as he was dying. So as soon as I prayed this prayer, my supervisor went away. All of my buyers started buying everything that I offered them. It was like, give me this, and give me that, and give me this. And, whoo, man, I rose up and I was hot. Oh, that's not exactly what happened. This prayer gave me not only a new way to pray, but a new understanding of God, of spirit, of truth, of the energy of life. So let's look at these verses. For thee I thirst. Now, when we first read this, our minds might go to that patriarchal God and see thee as he, right? But the thee we're talking about in this verse is the thee within me. For thee I thirst. It's that powerful expression of truth. It's that divine nature at the very center of who you are. It's that part of you that longs to experience its fullness, its passion. It's that part of you that desires to express love and light and peace and joy in everything you do. Do you have that within you? Of course you do. It is your divine nature. And so when we pray this prayer, when I say, for thee I thirst, I'm thirsting for that essence. I am thirsty for that powerful life energy that's within me that is wanting to express itself in me. Ever felt that? It's sort of was like when you tap into it, it's like, okay. It's like that part of you that knows the truth of who you are. It says, come on, let me out. Let me out. Reminds me that Ram Dass said that these bodies that we are like a tight shoe, right? These bodies that we embrace for this lifetime. So this is that divine energy saying, let me out. And this is us saying, okay, I'm thirsty for that presence within me. I thirst to be all that I am. I thirst to fully express myself. Charles Fillmore said, God is not person, but principle. God is not person, but principle. God is the principle of love, is the principle of light, is the principle of truth. God is not the human person, but God is that essence, the divine idea that is within all of us, that is within you, that wants to experience the fullness of who you are, your divine self, and all the possibilities that are within you as a perfect expression of the divine, of the God, of the universe. I like what Eric Butterworth said. He said, pray from a consciousness of God, not to God. In other words, we want to be so much into this presence of who we are, into this divine self, that we're not praying to some God out here. We're praying to the God in here, saying, like, use me, be me, express as me, live as me, love as me. Do you feel the power in that? You know, if we think that God is out here, we're giving that power away, giving it to something outside of ourselves, when the true power is in here. It's in the knowingness of what God is. I love that. Pray from a consciousness of God. And that's to say, all right, what a spirit within me wants. What is the perfect me that I can be? Rather than saying, God, give it to me, show it to me, be it for me, we're saying, I'm it. I'm it. What is that? What can I be? We thirst to experience God's presence within us and desiring its full expression as us. And the second verse says, into thy hands I commit my spirit, my soul, my body, my life, this problem. And this is where we insert that which once tapping into the essence of God, that we put in this place and say, into thy hands I commit my spirit, my soul, my body, this challenge that I'm having, and offer it up. Or offering it into the hands of spirit that are in us, into our spirit, into our soul, into our body, into our life. So this is where we discern what it is that Spirit is desiring for us. And it might be something like, sure be great to get rid of the supervisor. But it's really looking within and asking, what can I put in here? What is it that is drawing me forward? And we can put a challenge in. Say that it's my health. I want to experience more love. I want to be able to love myself. I want to be more creative. Into thy hands I commit my spirit, my soul, my body, my life, this situation. The third piece is, thy will be my will. This is the place where we have to give it up. You know, I've heard people say, well, I'm a great musician. Do I have to give that up? No. Spirit wants your highest possibility for you, but we are tapping into the ability to be willing to embrace more than we can realize. Right? Because if we think we know just what, in our intellectual mind, just what is for the highest possibility of us, we may be missing the boat. We may be missing out on that which desires to experience and express itself as us. So here we're saying, God's will, Spirit's will, my divine will is the will that I'm opening to. Whatever that is, however that shows up, I am willing to be there and to be present for it, to be willing to experience the fullness of Spirit. You see the difference? You see that? To be willing. To step out of our human mind and into our spiritual mind and say, okay, what is it? Step into the question. Heal me at depth. Wow. Are we thinking that this might be easy? I've discovered that many, many times in my life, when I'm stepping into a healing, it requires some work, some sacrifice, something that I get to do. Remember, we're praying not to change God, we're praying to change us, to change me. So in order to experience this healing that we're affirming, I may have to do, think, see, feel something different. Right? It's like, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over again and expecting different results, right? So if we expect a healing to happen, we have to step into some kind of newness all the time. You still with me? You still want to take this journey? It just reminds me that I do have copies of this prayer for you if you decide to go through and take more of it on. So the fifth part, I love this part. Don't you love this? Reveal that which needs to be revealed. Damn. That means I got to look at my stuff. I got to look at what's blocking me. I got to look at what's got in my way. I have to become aware of something that I maybe don't want to see. Yes. The first step in any kind of healing is awareness. If we're going to heal something, we have to be aware of what it is that needs to be healed. And so we're saying, bring it on. Okay, here I stand. What is it that I can know? Don't go to sleep. This is where people go to sleep right here, right? So don't go to sleep. Check yourself out. Because we go to sleep just at the time we don't want to hear what we need to hear, right? It's true. We check out. We go into we just go into some other place. I'm thinking, oh, I gotta after church, I gotta go to Costco and I gotta go to Whole Foods and what's that about? What doing what? Reveal what needs to be revealed. I know all that stuff. That ain't nothing new, Rev. I dealt with that stuff 20 years ago. Reveal what needs to be revealed. When we say this, it's like the universe says, okay, you ask for it, right? It's not that you deserve, well, you deserve it. If you ask for it, you deserve it, you're open to it, and the universe will say, here it is. Oftentimes I find if I go into meditation, this is a great prayer to follow with meditation and to listen and hear, what is it? Okay, what is it what's in my way? What's blocking me? What is this obstacle in my way? What am I afraid of? What don't I want to face? What don't I want to overcome? Take a breath. Are you still awake? I'm doing a check. I'm going to get some electrodes up here so that I can push them and light up your seat here. I've been threatening that for the 17 years I've been in ministry. I've yet to accomplish it, but I know that this church is a manifesting church. Or a womanifesting. I don't want to be gender unspecific. Reveal what needs to be revealed. Heal what needs to be healed. Because it's only that in embracing what it is that needs to be healed that we can heal it. But this is the path. This is where we can open ourselves to experiencing more love, more peace, more joy, to do more of the work, to be present to ourselves. I like this idea. There is nothing to be healed, only God to be revealed. That's the root of all healing. Is to come into accord with the presence that is within you. And remember, we're not talking about a God out here. We're talking about the God, the presence, the Spirit, the universal truth that is within you, that is being revealed to you right now. I know I'm holding that for you if that's what you want. This is not a prayer for the faint of heart, I'll tell you. So that I may glorify you, God, and live in the fullness of grace. So that I may glorify the presence of Spirit that is within me. So that I can step into the fullness of who I am and be that presence in everything I think, say, feel, and do. Be present to that. And live in that grace. Imagine that. Being in such a perfect place. That you can live in that grace. And feel God's presence with you wherever you are, whatever you're doing. To be peaceful, to be joyful, to be loving, to be truthful, to be powerful, to be creative, to be the light everywhere you are. So that I may glorify the presence of God within me and live in that grace. Isn't that what we want? Isn't that why you're here? Because your spirit is calling to you. Your soul is saying, let's go. Let's do this thing called life. At last, it's finished. when we stating this kind of ties it all together and puts an end to it and says, okay, I've done the work. Now I can open to presence and know that this is happening in my life in a perfect way. You are the love and the wholeness of God. That is the truth that you are. That's all that Spirit desires of you, to be all that you are. Once you've begun to use this prayer, you are asking for transformation at the very deepest levels of your being. So you get to decide, is that what you want? You know, for me, when I started praying this prayer, and I prayed it every day for over a year. Every day. I took a walk in the morning and I prayed this prayer along with the prayer of protection and the prayer of faith. And I prayed this prayer and I prayed it with emotion. I took a walk and I verbalized this prayer because my soul wanted something different. And my supervisor stopped being my supervisor because Lipton offered me a severance package. And I left Lipton and I began a deeper journey that brought me here. This prayer will bring on transformation. I changed my attitude and I changed my experience. Your prayers will be answered because your prayers are answered in you. Your prayers are answered because God is spirit and you are spirit. And that is where the two of you are one and can work together. However, this prayer does come with a warning, the same warning that Reverend Deborah Tyson gave me when I was taught this prayer, that don't pray this prayer unless you want transformation. Because I know, I experienced it, if you pray this prayer and you mean it and you say it, your life will be changed. You will be that perfect expression of who you are. And, you know, if you want to pray for patience, for example, you say, oh, God, I want to be a more patient person. Well, you will be given every opportunity to be patient. The lines will get longer. Everything will seem like it's taking longer because you called that upon yourself to experience it. If you want more love in your life, then you're going to face everything that doesn't necessarily look like that. And you're going to learn to love because this prayer will call forth all that stuff. Omar called it, I think you called it evil today, right? All that stuff that's kicking around inside your basket is going to come out and look you in the face and say, really? Do you want to heal this? You'll have plenty of opportunities. Years ago, before I left Lipton, I was swamped and I prayed, oh, God, give me a break. Boy, did I get one. A couple of days later, I broke my ankle rollerblading, and I was on crutches for 3 months. So be careful what you pray for. Pray to connect with the presence and the heart of God, because that's where prayer is answered. For thee I thirst, into thy hands I commit my spirit. Thy will is my will. Heal me at depth. Reveal that which needs to be revealed. Heal that which needs to be healed. Reveal that which needs to be revealed. Heal that which needs to be healed so that I can glorify you, God, and live in the fullness of grace. It is finished. I invite you to close your eyes. And take a deep breath. Knowing that the presence and power of love is moving as you right now in this moment. That the presence of God offers you a gift. A gift of transformation. A gift of life. A gift of a deeper connection than you can even imagine possible. Will you accept this gift? Are you willing to be all that you can be? Breathing in and breathing out. Thank you, loving Spirit, for the gift of prayer. For our ability to tap into our highest potentials. And to discover, what will it take to bring this into a reality? Breathing in and breathing out. And live in the fullness of grace. Thank you. Breathing into this moment, I invite you to bring your awareness back to this moment, to this room, to feel the love that is here, the joy, the peace, and the truth. Prayer informs me of my highest possibilities and guides me in right action. Let's say that together. Prayer informs me of my highest possibilities and guides me in right action. And that's the truth. Namaste.
Where I live, there are rain.